No, I'm always so stressed.
We just need Next thing.
Sound check.
Welcome to William Ryan Eastmark. Come on in. We are having a wonderful tour. We're having food, appetizers. I'm telling you, why don't you give us the grand tour, my friend?
Surely, Steve. So as you can see right here, we have a beautiful study, nice oversized, beautiful windows looking out front, so you can see the view of the park across the street. We have large 10-foot ceilings, coppered ceilings. Follow me. A little guest powder room. Now, one of the unique features of this home is we have a guest suite right here off the garage entry. It has an ensuite bathroom, walk-in closet. Now, one of the beautiful features of all of our homes, we have great storage areas. So we have a nice coat closet here, beautiful, big, large, under stair storage right here. And as you look off into the great room, you can see we have big multiple sliding glass door, large patio outside. These are standard lot sizes. As you can see, we have large lots here also. And as you spin around, you can see we have a gourmet chef's kitchen.
Speaking of gourmet chef kitchen, come on in for just a minute. We're going to get Dave upstairs and show you the upstairs of this home. But before you leave us, we are getting prepared with Chef Jude to make you a wonderful set of meals, 3 different meals. But before we tell you about that, let's get you upstairs to show you the rest of the home.
We'll start off in the master bedroom first. Yeah. Nice, large, oversized rooms. Upstairs, the ceilings are 9 feet. This is a beautiful option right here. Step out, you can see. And then we'll go off into the owner suite master bath. Now, one of the great features we have is the door going from the closet into the laundry room. All of our floor plans have this option here. If I can get you to look up just a sec, put a view panel up there so that you can see that we have spray foam ceilings for the insulation. Typically, our attics are only about 10 degrees warmer than what it is in the house. Nice oversized loft area here. Again, more closets and storage. I want to point out we have smart thermostats here, and we also have zones in the house. So this house has 3 zones in it. The master bedroom has its own zone. The loft area in the bedroom has its zone, and then the downstairs has its own zone. And if we walk into the secondary bedrooms here, nice little Jack and Jill bath in between.
Hey, Aaron, I am so excited. We have got some Dracula shrimp downstairs. Follow me, and I tell you, the chef is so excited. He is having a great time in this new chef's kitchen. Hey, chef.
What's going on, Steve?
I was talking about this kitchen being so chef-friendly that you're excited to be here.
Yeah, oh man, look at nice spacious kitchen here, beautiful cooktop. Got a hood over here. Working with gas, that's most important in my book. especially when I'm building a kitchen.
Cooking with gas.
That's
And we're
right.
gonna do today, I think we're doing 3 different things. The first one is Dracula shrimp.
We're gonna do a Dracula shrimp scampi.
Scampi,
So no
okay.
garlic in there, so we don't kill anybody.
Okay, no garlic in the shrimp.
That's right. We're gonna do a salmon roll with some cream cheese, boursin cheese, and just do like a nice little appetizer. Top it with some caviar, a little fresh dill.
Okay, how about dessert? Do we got dessert coming up?
We're gonna do a pumpkin cheesecake stuffed in a molasses cookie.
Now, guys, not only do you get to see the chef cook live, but every hour on the hour, we have some prizes that we're going to give away. We also are going to be touring these fabulous models every hour on the hour. And if they want to hire you, chef, to do an independent night at their house or a special weekend or something, are you available?
Absolutely. Hit me up over here at Chef J Vangelis on Instagram, chefjvangelis@gmail.com. And we'll see if we can book your event, show you a great time.
So, do you mind if I share an interesting fact with the general public here?
Go ahead, Steve.
This guy is not only a chef, but he is a chef at a assisted living, elderly,
Senior living.
senior living community.
That's right. We have all levels of senior living there, independent, assisted, and membership.
And I'm telling you, what is it like in that kind of environment? It's got to be a little crazy.
Oh, it's beautiful. I get to do whatever I want to, play with food. I get to bring seniors culinary, and that's the most important part. To have your independence taken away because you can't walk anymore from the life you've lived.
Right.
Being able to still choose what you'd like to have for dinner, that last sense of independence in some of these residents' cases. So allowing them to enjoy food.
And they also get to, I mean, I've heard some of the things that you come up with and they go, what?
Yeah, and that's basically it. I love to play with food, and why not do it for seniors and show them that culinary is different than it was 40 years ago.
There you go. We're not talking meatloaf.
We'll give them the meatloaf. Just give them the meatloaf.
But also maybe a little Dracula shrimp.
Yeah, stuff just like this in our environment on a daily basis. We would leave the Chipotle down to a minimum.
Okay, so what do we have? We start with mise en place.
We have our mise en place here. First and foremost, a pot of water. That's what we need going, right? Because we're going to put this Dracula shrimp over some linguine pasta today. We got some nice fresh shrimp here. We got some chipotle peppers there, fresh cilantro, lime, some bell pepper, some shallots, and some onion.
All right. And since it's almost Halloween, I like the Dracula theme, that's for sure.
Well, we didn't want to call it El Diablo, and I figured if we left out the garlic, we could call it Dracula. So a little play on it, right?
I like it. It's almost like we got, you know, that chipotle looks pretty Dracula, almost like some blood.
You know, it's not
It would
fitting
give us
for
a
the
little
theme, right?
zip.
Absolutely.
All right, how do we get started?
So what we want to do is, like I said, mise en place, right? We're going to dice our vegetables. We already got our shrimp that are peeled and deveined. They're ready to go. I got some shallot that's minced up, some bell pepper. And remember, when we're cooking, we always want to think about what are we doing, right? When we're cutting our vegetables, do we want to make them bigger than the pieces of shrimp? Do we want to have a big old chunk of bell pepper against our little shrimp like that in the pasta, right? So we don't want anything like that. So we're going to go with a nice dice. It's kind of like a julienne, probably like, and then quarter down. So a julienne would be a nice clean cut that would be 1/4 inch by 2 inch by 1. So 1/4 by 1/4 by 2 inches would be a julienne.
And how about Caroline? Would that be a 1/2 inch?
That would be a big one. So we don't want to go too big or too small, right? With these, because we want to keep them in moderation to the size of the shrimp that we have.
And for those of you at home that see how well he's chopping, He does have all 5 fingers on both of his hands. It's an art, it's a skill, but you can pick it up. If you start watching our monthly shows, the chef will actually show you not only how to chop, but how to hold the knife and the different types of slicing.
Yeah, the techniques, right? So the tips and the tricks of the kitchen is the main thing that we want to get across to our audience. So just like with our onion here, we're going to keep it the same size as our bell pepper there, so that way we can continue the uniformity and then allow it to be a little even in the cooking process.
Love it.
So we're just sliced them in half. I took that outside layer off, both sides, outside layer, and then from here, we're just going to cut it in half, and then we're going to do that same width cut on that, so that way it's the same. As
Yeah, they look almost they look like they're just almost exactly the same size. I'll take one of these, give it a test. I like it.
And then when we're doing a mince, remember, we want to make smaller cuts closer together. Make sure you keep that thumb tucked back, so that way you're able to create a nice small mince, because you're not going to want to get a huge chunk of that shallot when we go to
Shallot is a very mild onion, correct?
It's like a cross between the garlic and the onion.
Okay.
So it does have kind of that pungency like a garlic would, but the sweetness of an onion.
All right, like it.
All right, so we got our water up here. It's coming to a boil. Take our linguine pasta. We're gonna break these down today. Just right in half.
Now, chef, we put oil or salt in there? or
So I've
just
done a
a
little-
wives' tale?
Okay, so it's twofold, right? So the oil, they say, why do you put the oil in the water for your pasta? Is it so it doesn't help the pasta stick together? No, that's not it. It's so that way it can capture any molecules of dust that would be on your pasta, and it cleans it together so that it cleans your pasta as it's cooking. Lightly salted water is what you want to do, so that way it just adds a little flavor to our pasta a little bit more when you're getting to take a bite of that.
So do you have a little bit of salt in there?
I have a little bit of salt in there.
All right, see, now sometimes, guys, just for you who are not paying attention, sometimes the chef misses telling you just a little secret or two.
Well, it's always about trying to get it across.
I mean, you're not hiding the secrets from us, are you, chef?
No.
All right. So the olive oil cleans the pasta.
It attracts, so it helps any dirt that would be on the pasta clean together. So the chemical compounds of it attract together, so that way it does take away anything that would be remaining on the pasta.
So if you've been doing oil forever, you actually did it for a reason.
Exactly.
You just probably didn't know the right
The
reason.
trick to not letting your pasta stick together is occasionally stir your pasta.
Aha! Another trick of the trade.
Especially once you get it in and it starts to soften up slightly, it's releasing starch at a very fast pace, so that way it's going to stick together. You don't want to get a big old clump of pasta in the midst of all the rest of your pasta. So we'll keep this on a high heat, just not to a super rolling boil, but just so that way it allows it to continue to cook. We got a nice saute pan here. We're going to, actually, let's use this big burner in the middle here. That way we can get this nice and hot. We're gonna saute. Steve, what is the saute?
Saute, let me see. Saute is where you put it in and you move it around and keep it moving on a regular basis so it doesn't stick to the pan.
Similar to that. Saute means high heat, little bit of fat. So what we want to do is we want to get our pan nice and hot. We're going to add a little bit of fat to it. We're going to add some olive oil to it.
So high heat, low fat.
Little bit of fat. You can
Little
use
bit of
bacon grease. You can use any oils essentially. You wouldn't want to use like a
My
a
mom
fried
used to use
shortening.
Crisco. Could I
I
use?
was just gonna say you could. I would stay away from
All
it.
right.
Unless
Okay.
that's the
So if
flavor
you're
you're
old
looking
school,
for.
switch to the new. Look at this. Olive oil. Okay, so get the pan hot first. then the olive.
Correct, because we don't want to heat the olive oil as we're heating the pan. We just want to get the pan nice and hot, put our olive oil in, and then start to saute.
Got it.
So you can see when we add that, see how it starts to ripple right away? That means that our pan is nice and hot. First, we're going to start off with our shallots and our bell pepper. We're going to keep this on high, nice and hot as we can possibly get it. Our pasta stir. While that's cooking down for about 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to take some of these chipotle peppers and dice them up because we're not going to want to serve a whole pepper in there. So these are chipotle peppers out of the can in the adobo sauce. It is important to get the adobo sauce. If you're using just straight dehydrated chipotle peppers, you would have to hydrate them. Means just dice the pepper up like this and then put it into a little bit of water so that way it rehydrates that dehydrated pepper. And with these, it's all just depends on what your heat sensation is for your palate. If you want it super hot, add as much as you'd like. If you want to keep it mild, it's always best to start with less and be able to add more as you need. All right, as you can see here, our shallot's becoming nice and translucent. It's going to have our bell pepper cooking down. Give this about 30 more seconds. The reason we've added our bell pepper first is because we want to cook it more than the onion itself, so that way it's not super crunchy when we go to eat it in our pasta, but that it's going to be soft enough, al dente, crisp to bite. So we're going to add some onions to that. Give our pasta a stir. We want to remember to keep that going. We don't want that pasta to sit and stick. And that's usually what will happen if you don't stir it. Want to put those onions down, get them nice and translucent. If you see in the shallot here, how it's really clear when you look through it, that's what we're going to look for with our onions. We're going to want to get the juice of a lime. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and press it, just not in lightly, not too hard, and just roll. We're trying to break up the tissue of the lime so that way when we go to squeeze it, we're able to juice it really, really easily. See, our onion here is just starting to break down and get translucent. We're starting to see a little bit of the caramelization also too. So as we're sauteing, we're cooking on such high heat, we're extracting the sugars of these vegetables very, very quickly. And that's how you get the caramelization. All that stuff that's on the bottom, all this char that's down here, that's called fond. And what that does is that is flavor for our dishes. So every time you think that you're burning it, as long as it's not on fire or you haven't scorched it too bad, you want to have that caramelization on your pan so that way it's tons of flavor. So give those onions just another second here. We're going to add our shrimp. Pasta stir. See where we're at with this guy. I think we usually takes about 7-8 minutes. Usually just pop them in half. You can see right there that there's still some raw pasta, so about another 3 minutes. See, we're building some nice caramelization there. And we're going to want to add our shrimp at this point. Remember, remember the ratios. You're always wanting to think about, you don't want too much of one thing and not enough of another. Right here, we're getting a nice ratio of shrimp to vegetables, because it is going to be a pasta dish. It's not just going to be shrimp over buttered noodles. So we want to make sure that we're having a good ratio of shrimp to vegetables there. Remember, we want to keep that pan on nice and hot. Shrimp usually takes really, really quick, super fast amount. Our cooking time on shrimp is usually, 6 to 7 minutes of shrimp this size. Today we're using 3140s. When I do dishes like this, I like to use a bigger shrimp typically for any pasta dish, because then that way you're not eating a bunch of little shrimps. You're eating a nice big tiger shrimp that's just going to have a lot more flavor than having a whole bunch of little. So we're starting to get cooking here. Pasta stir. And just a little bit of water so we can take some of that caramelization off. It's going to steam up a little bit. It's going to add a little moisture to the pan. Instead of adding more oil where you don't want that grease effect, all we did was we just helped release some of that fond. Now, we didn't want to get it all stripped away, because we're going to do that when we add our wine to this sauce. All right, now that our shrimp's about halfway cooked, we want to then add our wine. We're not going to want to overcook this shrimp, so if we wait to add it and make our sauce, nice deglazing of the pan, that's where we're stripping away all that fond. As you can see, all that fond releases nicely off the pan. Now we're going to add our chipotle peppers. I know the crew here likes it spicy, so.
Mary's not sure about that spice stuff.
That's all right, we'll like it. We added just a little more wine in there. That's okay. I'm going to turn this down just slightly. Let's check our pasta. Ooh, we're almost there. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. We're going to finish off the rest of this wine so we have a nice amount of sauce. And then we're just going to reduce this wine down with all that flavor that we've created with our saute. I am cooking with a wooden stick. This is one of my friends made these for me, and I got these things that are just spectacular. They don't scratch your pans. They're nice and light. They're very durable. So if you're doing ground beef or sausage or something, instead of using those spoons that are always flexing on you, makes it tougher. So I cook with these guys at home every day. So I got some butter here. We're gonna want to finish our sauce with some nice cold butter. The reason we want it to be cold is then we're gonna thicken our sauce with these cold butter chunks. We're gonna cut them in about like half tablespoon slices. And we're just gonna add them one at a time, stirring to help thicken our sauce. Start off with 2. Remember, still just reducing down that wine. And as we stir in this cold butter, it'll start to thicken up that liquid for us. We're gonna turn our heat down. We're not gonna wanna boil it all. Pasta dumped out here.
So Chef, how would you know if the wine is reduced out? Is it just a matter of time or taste?
Alcohol cooks out quickly
Okay.
in like minutes, less than. So it depends on what kind of alcohol. Obviously, higher grain alcohol will take a little bit longer to cook out the alcohol. Wine's gonna be seconds, and beer, you're talking within the 60 seconds of a boil like we had, there's no more alcohol content. After I get my pasta, I give it a good stir. Nice little drain. I add just a touch of olive oil into that so it doesn't stick while you're waiting to plate. And when I say a touch, you're talking a touch. A drop, if I may.
Okay, I like it. Another little secret that people don't know about.
Butter.
Boy, Chef, not only does this smell amazing, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, nice shrimp dish here. It's gonna have a nice little kick, but a nice buttery, rich flavor. Since we reduced down that wine, we created all that fond, all that sugar from the bell pepper, the shallots, the onion, even the shrimp. And we just got all that sugar out as fast as we possibly could to create the most flavor in a short amount of time.
Love it.
We're gonna now take some fresh cilantro. And our lime juice, finish up this sauce. What I do when I'm doing herbs like this and I want to get a nice good mince is I'll take them and I'll crumple them up as tight as I possibly can. And that way, when I make as many little slices as close to each other as possible, you then get a nice mince to get going. And then you have minced herbs just like that. Lime juice.
Chef, would you consider this like an easy weeknight meal for families?
Absolutely. How much time did it take us? 12 minutes? As long as the pasta boiled, right? See how that sauce has some body now? From that nice cold butter, we've allowed to get this nice rich beurre blanc would be the technical term, or the actual French sauce that we've created today. Sure.
All right, Chef, I'm getting excited. This is not only a great meal, but it's very quick and easy. And I don't know if everybody's aware of Eastmark and its location here in the East Valley, but we're very close to the new Google and Facebook headquarters. So if you're moving here from out of state and you're thinking, man, I'm not really sure how to get acclimated. This community, Eastmark, is so family friendly, right? And at the end of the day, if you've got a hard day, you're working and you want to come home and make a special dish in 14 minutes or less, chef, this is the dish, right?
This is one of them right here.
All right.
It's versatile. You can add whatever ingredients essentially to the shrimp that you want to. You can go Cajun, you can go just lemon, butter, some thyme in there. We decided to go Halloween today.
Wow.
What was our time? 14 minutes.
About 14 minutes. So we're
Okay,
gonna-
chef, this looks absolutely wonderful. And I think we're going to take a little pause for a minute and share this with some of the homeowners that are here today. They're all waiting anxiously outside asking, can we come in yet? Can we come in yet to enjoy some of this food? So you think we should let them come in and enjoy a little food?
Let them in.
All right, and we'll be back in just a few minutes, guys. I think we've got a couple more models to show you. As a matter of fact, right before we do the salmon and teach them how to do the smoked salmon,
Yeah.
we're gonna walk through the second model here, and I'm telling you, this home is gorgeous. $750,000 to buy a model. Now, here's something that's pretty interesting. They say you buy the house and you date the rate.
That's what I've heard.
All right, so if you buy a model, you're actually buying a model. And then you get to date the rate.
There you go.
All right, so a little humor for you before we sign off, guys. We really appreciate you being with us. Again, we're at Eastmark.
Yeah.
So come out and give us a visit. Hi, welcome. Come on in. We are in the Jimson home here at Eastmar, and we are with William Ryan Homes. And today we're doing a fabulous chef day where we just made some Diablo shrimp. We're moving into a smoked salmon with a cream cheese, and for dessert, pumpkin, like these little pumpkin cookies. They're amazing. So come take a look. This home, guys, is a model home. And for $749,000, this home is available for sale, and maybe some of the furniture. Come on in. To the right, we have a large laundry room with all the upper cabinets and lower cabinets. Over here to the left, we have a Jack and Jill bathroom. Works perfect for a downstairs bedroom. Allows us to use that both for guests and for the bedroom, makes it an ensuite. Follow me this direction. We've got the wonderful wood floors in here and an open family room concept. Now, when you buy a model, guys, I think about buying a model is all this beautiful we get in a base price home. This stuff. Could you imagine entertaining? Guys, this is a super private, extra large covered patio everywhere. Open this up and you've got indoor and outdoor living. Allow me to show you the master suite. Nice tall ceilings and one of the most amazing master bathrooms you've ever seen. Take a look at that shower.
If you're someone living with a disability or know someone who is, you should consider the Equal Savings Program. Hey parents, would you describe your child as fun, creative, outgoing?
Look at this amazing kitchen, guys. You've got beautiful appliances, stainless steel, and I'm telling you, the pantry space in here is just absolutely perfect for being able to entertain. And again, we have not only the dining room, but a slider there, a slider on the other side. So when you open up all three sliders, you are definitely indoor and outdoor living, guys. So we're going to take you over here to our chef's kitchen where we actually have Chef Jude making our next meal. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, I tell you guys, we have had such an amazing beginning to our day. We just started off with some Dracula shrimp scampi that was amazing. The next thing we're doing is we're moving into a smoked salmon. Chef, why don't you tell us how many, I'm not really sure when it comes to smoked salmon and putting in cream cheese, how this all works, my friend.
All right, well, smoked salmon is you like it or you don't. Right?
Okay, it's a love it or hate it type of thing.
It sure is, but when you mix certain ingredients with it, it becomes a little easier to like.
Okay, and you're going to show us the absolute best things that go with salmon that if you were just to close your eyes and try it, you're going to go, wow.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we might just have to do that. For those of us who are not lovers of salmon, we might just have to close our eyes and give it a try. So what are we doing here?
All right, so we got our mise en place. We
Okay,
got our smoked salmon. We got some lemons. We're gonna get some fresh lemon juice. We're gonna get some boursin cheese. You ever use this stuff before?
never used that.
This is a garlic herb cheese. Throw this in your mashed potatoes.
Oh,
Some roast beef on the side of that. Now you're talking, right?
okay, another little secret from the chef.
We got some fresh dill here, and we got some caviar. You went for caviar.
Caviar, that is Russian fish eggs or some sort of fish eggs.
It's fish eggs, and it's all sorts of fish eggs is what caviar is. They even smoke caviar nowadays.
Okay,
So you get a whole different flavor to that as well.
a little salty, I hear.
It's pretty salty.
Okay, so the salty with the salmon, with the lemon, with the dill, with the cheese, starting to sound like a symphony.
That's exactly right. So when you close your eyes and just take a bite, let your taste buds take you away.
All right, well, let's hear all about it. We're excited. Welcome to William Ryan, guys. We're live here at Eastmark. We're at Wavelength. We appreciate you guys showing up. And if you want to come out and enjoy these delicacies, Chef, you're going to share with everybody, aren't you, my friend?
That's right.
All right. And for those of you who don't know Chef Jude, he is available for private parties, corporate events. Most importantly, if you just want to get together with your friends on a weekend and have someone just take care of you,
Absolutely.
and you can either go with their menu or you can come up with your own menu. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out to me at Chef J Vangelis at Gmail or on Instagram or Facebook. Let me know what you're looking for. Pretty much do all kinds of parties. Like I said, private events, corporate events, sit down dinners, 5-course meals. What better way to wow some guests from out of town is to have the chef come inside your own kitchen and let you enjoy their company.
You know, you did one at our party not too long ago that you did ice cream, homemade ice cream right there that they could put any kind of ingredients, almost like a Cold Stone creamery.
So we set up a Cold Stone creamery in your backyard. That's right. And that was quite the event, right?
Yeah, they still talk about it.
Yeah, and it's an ice cream bar, right? You have a couple different ice creams, quite a few different toppings, set it up and have a good time.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with today's second course.
So like we're gonna stick to the theme, our spooktacular event. This is gonna be a nice little appetizer. You can serve this on a cracker. You can serve this on just a crostini. So take some French bread, slice it up in about finger width slices down, and we could put some spread on there. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a filling with some cream cheese, some boursin cheese, fresh dill, lemon juice. And then we're gonna do some things to kind of dress it up. So if you're having a Halloween party, this would be an upscale appetizer for your guests.
And be very thematic, to say the least. And you could have a party where everybody can dress up, or you just have it on a little Saturday afternoon like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get started. I'm excited to hear how this all comes together.
So what we're gonna want to do is we want to get I got some cream cheese in a bowl. It's nice and soft already. We're gonna want to make sure that it is softened. You ever try to work with cream cheese right out of the refrigerator? So always make sure that when we're gonna do things like this, that it sits out 20 minutes, room temperature, comes to a nice good temperature of the cream cheese, so that way you can mix all of our ingredients together without having to beat it up too much.
You're not really chopping it, it'll actually blend in.
Right, and that's what we're gonna be doing. We could take our hand beater if we wanted to and do this. We're not gonna want to whip in any air. So you'd be whipping in air when you're using that beater.
Right.
And we don't wanna do that. We just wanna get all these flavors blended together because we want to showcase the smoked salmon and then this cheese blend that we're gonna make here.
Okay.
So we'll get our lemons. I pressed them already. I broke up those segments so that way we can get some juice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put lemon juice in 2 different things. First, we're gonna go on to our cream cheese here. We're gonna go the juice of 1 lemon. What I'm doing is I'm using my hand as a strainer. I'm cupping it and I'm allowing the juice just to drip right between the fingers so I can catch all the seeds. You're gonna want to keep all those seeds out of your appetizer. You don't want to dentist bill from your guests, that's for certain. Okay, then with this other lemons, we're gonna put it into another bowl. What we're gonna do is a little bit after we get everything together and set up, we're gonna be draping that fresh dill into our lemon juice and then putting it over the top of our little salmon rolls to kind of give it this swamp-like effect. And that's where we'll top it with the caviar to continue with our spooktacular appetizer. Should be enough there. What I've gotten is I got the plastic wrap on our cutting board here and just wrapped it tightly so we can work with it without having to make a mess. I'm always about easy cleanup. Makes it, for the end of the night, a whole lot better. So, see how soft this guy is. There we go. Nice and soft. Cream cheese. Let's get our boursin. We're gonna put this whole bad boy right in there.
That's a good pro tip.
All we're doing is just mixing the two together so that way we're just blending all those, the herbs and the garlic from the cheese with the cream cheese and our lemon juice.
Yeah.
You know what, one thing I love about Arizona, moving here,
What's that?
is fresh lemons off the lemon tree.
Or citrus, oranges?
Oh my gosh, they're the
best.
sweetest, most wonderful. Yeah, I was talking to my sister, this was, several months back. And she lives in Chicago, and I was like, hey, hold on one second, I have to just go grab a lemon off the tree. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna hang up on you now. It's dark here and it's cold.
That's too funny. Yeah, I grew up with some citrus trees in the backyard and it helps you get through the day, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a lemon and an orange and a grapefruit, and they're delicious.
Yeah, fresh orange juice, freshly squeezed. That was it. All right, we're gonna want to get some of our fresh dill here. We're gonna want to add just a little bit into our cream cheese, not too much, because we're gonna have it on the outside of our salmon roll. So that's gonna be a pungent flavor when we take a bite of it, because it will be sitting on the outside. Just give this guy a nice mince.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah, nice and fresh. Fresh herbs. Always be cooking with fresh herbs. Dry spices work to get by sometimes, but when you're using those fresh herbs and soups and sauces, even marinades, what a world of difference it makes.
Yeah.
We'll mix this fresh dill in here.
It's like a nice, quick, great appetizers, no cooking time.
No, the prep time is let your cream cheese soften, mix it together really quickly, lay out your salmon, roll them up, dress them up, set them on a tray, and let the guests enjoy.
Okay, so in terms of just like these, could this be a make-ahead recipe that you could like leave it in the fridge and then slice it up right before either your guests come or you're going to an event?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
And you wouldn't want to let it sit out too long. That's the key with it. Keep it cold. That's the best thing. But you would want to not serve it straight out of the refrigerator. You want to make sure that it does warm up, right? So it comes up to room temperature.
Okay, good. Good to know. I love every ingredient that's sitting there right now on the counter.
All that with the shrimp scampi that we just did.
Oh,
Add some tomato. Voila.
So good.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our salmon here, and it should be already sliced for us. So we want to be delicate when working with this. Same thing like we were just talking about. You want this to be cold as well, because once it starts to warm up a little bit, it's super delicate. So we're just gonna find our slices, and we're gonna lay them out. Such delicacy. So when you get like the pieces like this, if you lay them together, we will be able to make a nice little rollover. So this is a nice, easy process, but it is tedious, so you gotta be patient, right? And just work with it. That's why I always, when I do things like this, I gotta think about make a big surface area as big as possible, so then that way you can just set them out, make them all, and then boom, then they're done. And that way you're not one at a time. We'll be here for quite some time. Cut these bigger ones in half. And then we just take our mixture here. Put a nice little, like the size of a Tootsie Roll in there is what we're really looking for. So like I was saying, you can put this on a cracker after we roll them up. A nice pristine always works pretty good. For today, we're just gonna leave them plain so that way you can see it just kind of gives it a cool little decorative theme appeal to it. So. Then we just take them. I'm just going to roll them over like a sushi roll.
Would you recommend to make this same mixture with any other product besides salmon?
Smoked salmon, I mean, you can throw cucumbers, sliced tomato with the same thing. You can, but yeah, it just goes on and on. You
Would it be
could,
good with steak?
I was just going to say, yes, it would.
With that force and cheese.
I would
Popular
use
steak.
less cream cheese.
And more.
Even, I mean, just the same thing, instead of using cream cheese, use butter. And then make a little after we make it here, just put it out, roll it up. When you plastic wrap it up into the refrigerator. And then now you have a nice maitre d' butter that you could then just
Or
slice.
horseradish.
Whatever you want to add to it. Absolutely.
Okay, I love that.
So that's an easy, and the beautiful thing about when you do a butter like that, 1 pound is gonna last you all year because all you're doing is throwing it into the freezer. Every time you need it, pull it out, cut a chunk off. You can make butter like that and saute like we just did with our scampi. So
Awesome.
it's very versatile once you make that to what you're able to actually do with it.
Awesome.
We're trying not to get them too fat because you want to be able to get all the flavors that hit the palate just evenly without being just a chunk of cream cheese or so much smoked salmon. So that way it's very well rounded. Watch that. Pin bone, be careful for those. We definitely don't want to catch one of those. Just in our class on Thursday, we learned how to debone fish, didn't we, Jennifer?
We did.
Did you try your new skill, Jennifer?
I did not. I was behind it.
That would be interesting to learn though. I would love
So then
that.
what we'll do is we're just gonna take our fresh dill and we're gonna get it wet. And that way we can just lay it on our, try to pop off the stems onto our salmon roll, like seaweed, so to speak, right?
I mean, it looks pretty, but I guess it also probably gives a great flavor.
Yeah, because that fresh dill is gonna hit right away, and then the cream cheese is gonna mellow it with getting that smokiness of the salmon, so.
Fantastic.
So do you have any tips on the finishing touches, because everything is really small and delicate? Do you use?
Yeah, I mean, this, as you can see, you got just got to be patient with it and work, and just use your utensils as you need, right?
Boy, Chef, this is just looking amazing. While you're plating that, let me just go ahead and give everybody a little market update. You know, guys, if you're out there saying, I don't know if now's a good time to buy a new home or not, you're listening to the news all the time, you hear nothing but doom and gloom. Let me show you the real truth. If you look at this chart, guys, this chart was from the 1980s to now. So we're talking about a 30, 40-year history. And each one of these, if you see from the blue line, every time that line is the black line's above the blue line, we're actually building enough homes. But if you look right here, we are way below the line, which means over the last 10 years, we have not built enough new homes to keep up with our population. So we have a shortage of new homes. It's a fact, and it's undisputed. Unfortunately, with COVID, I think everybody learned what happens when you have a shortage of anything. It drives the price up like crazy. So let's talk about a few other things. Not only are they more energy efficient, they're more healthy. And heaven forbid if you live in an area that's prone for maybe hurricanes or weather, new homes are built in areas that don't have a 100-year flood. They are built more strong with shear walls. So not only they are more energy efficient, they're smarter, but they're built 100% better. So now is a really good time to buy a new home. So if you've been thinking about buying a new home, you have a few more incentives, you have a lot more lot choices. And remember, you marry the house and you date the rate. you can always change your rate and refinance. So we look forward to talking to you soon. Chef, let's look at this plate.
Okay, so you guys,
Wow.
we
Just
have-
touching it up
if you
here.
are hungry, who likes shrimp? Do you like shrimp?
With every
Okay.
new home comes a plate of shrimp.
Do you like spicy? Oh, okay. 'cause
Oh, you're
I-
gonna
I-
absolutely
Here.
love that. Let me get you a fork.
Okay, so this is a shrimp scampi.
This is actually what we call Dracula's shrimp scampi. So very thematic, and right now what he's making is our smoked salmon.
Which now that,
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
okay,
Yeah,
he's
that's
almost
right.
there. He's plating it right now.
And then after that comes the dessert. Yum, yum, yum. I think somebody wants some dessert.
Oh, okay.
I
so
love
just like
breast
flowers.
Oh,
And is this your,
This is my grandson and my daughter.
this is your first one?
Yeah, she's carrying this one. There's another one. There's another one in there. We got it.
Yay, what do you do?
April.
Okay.
The
Oh,
little
before,
legs.
before the winter or the summer though. So
Yes,
thank
I
goodness
missed
for
the
that.
summer. Yeah, we're not torturing ourselves in the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Are you
really
gonna be a big brother? Are you gonna be a big brother?
Does mommy have a baby in there?
I bet you're gonna be an amazing big brother.
Yeah, I know, it's like, miniatures.
How old is he?
Okay, chef.
Okay.
Wow.
so
Hey, look at this. You want to tell us what we've got here, my friend?
Yeah, so we've got some smoked salmon rolls with some porcine cream cheese.
Okay.
So we've taken some porcine cheese, the garlic herb, some cream cheese, we mix it together with some lemon juice, some fresh dill. We then rolled we rolled smoked salmon around it and topped it with some fresh dill, some caviar, served to your guests.
All right. Well, we have some potential homeowners here, and we're gonna let them try a little smoked salmon. Here you go.
Yum.
One little piece for you. Okay, smoked salmon. A little try for you.
Oh, I won't be shy on this one.
Alright. Alex.
Oh, God, you got whole plate?
You're welcome.
Oh, chef, this is amazing.
Okay, guys, we're here at William Ryan out in East Mark at Wavelength, and we can't wait for you guys to come down and join us and try some of this wonderful food. And you might want to even buy a house while you're here. Chef, what do we got coming up next?
Coming up next, we're gonna do a spiced pumpkin molasses cookie. We're gonna make a pumpkin spice cheesecake and stuff it between some nice soft molasses cookies.
All right, so for all the people that are going, Steve, I'm waiting for the dessert. Come on down. That'll be in the next hour. We'll be showing you a few more amenities in the home, and we'll be making some dessert for you. So thank you very much, and we'll come back and see you in just a little bit.
You never
Or
really.
maybe it's more stressful.
Hey, welcome back to William Ryan Homes here out at East Smart. And let's get cooking with the Ryder Elite team. We've already done some great demos today. We've demoed some Dracula shrimp scampi. We've also demoed some smoked salmon rolls stuffed with some cream cheese and boursin. Nice little fresh dill on top, a little caviar. And then we're gonna finish off strong with our pumpkin cheesecake stuffed between two molasses cookies. So we got our mise en place ready to go. We have some International Delight pumpkin spice cream. We have some heavy whipping cream right here. We have some sugar and we have some pudding pack, which is going to be our pumpkin spice today. We have some cream cheese, nice and softened. So what we're going to want to do is get a nice big bowl like this. We're going to want to make sure that our cream cheese is room temperature, maybe even a little softer. So we're going to want to incorporate as much air into this as possible. So we're in. And I've got the whip attachment on here, which is going to be different than the regular beaters. There's twice as many prongs on it, so that way we're able to whip as much air into this as possible. As soon as we break this up a little bit, we'll then add our sugar into it. So we'll cream the sugar into the cream cheese while we're incorporating this air. So we got the 1 pack of cream cheese, we got 1/4 cup of sugar. So we're gonna mix this in together. There we go. There we go. Starting to incorporate a good amount of air here. Nice and fluffy. That's what we're trying to do here. There we go. And we're going to turn this down slowly and add our heavy whipping cream. Nice little chef trick here. Take one of your kitchen towels, get it slightly wet, damp. This way you can go like this. You still got to worry about it maybe sliding. But if you take your towel and just make a nice little ring, so to speak, should keep your bowl in there nice and tight. Gonna add our heavy whipping cream slowly. There's 2 ways we can do this. We could whip the cream and make our own whipped cream before we mix the two together. If you're gonna do that, you wanna be careful that you don't beat the cream cheese or the heavy whipping cream too much. But also when you go to add it, you got to be careful that you don't make your cream cheese fall by dumping all that heavy liquid into it of our cream cheese. I'm going to take some of our pumpkin spice creamer. There we go. Making sure that we're whipping it nice and smooth, get no chunks of cream cheese in there. And we're going to add our pudding pack right now. What that is going to be a stabilizer, so that way when we put it into our cookie, it'll be nice and stiff. What you'd like, a good thing to do with this is make these cookies in advance, pop them into the refrigerator and firm up that filling, and then let them come back out and sit for a little bit.
that's kind of a natural transition.
Chef, I know you're the best at coming up with quick desserts
Uh-huh.
by using that pudding trick.
Yeah, so
You
that,
pretty much use the flavor, right?
yeah, so doing the heavy whipping cream, it's real simple to make a nice quick mousse. So what you want to do is you want to just take heavy whipping cream and beat it till it comes to a stiff peak. Mix your pudding pack in there and it becomes a stabilizer. So you can let it sit out at room temperature for a good 30, 40 minutes and it'll still hold its shape. And you can see that as we're whipping it, that pudding pack's stiffening that filling up. So it's like a good consistency there, nice and thick, nice and creamy. And then from there, we take our cookie. Nice even layer here. Not too much, not too little. A little dome in the middle there, that way when we squish the other one together. Nice little cookie sandwich like that, full of flavor, nice for the Halloween, the fall season.
So Chef, you just made dessert in 9 minutes.
Yes, I did.
That's awesome.
And you're ready to go. So pop these guys in the refrigerator for a little bit. If your guests are coming quicker, this is one that you wouldn't really want to do in too far in advance because the pudding pack will solidify as it sits into the refrigerator and then it'll become really gummy, right? The amount of pudding pack that we're using for what we're doing, you want to be careful with it so that way it doesn't become too gummy-like. You want it to keep a nice light texture in between the cookie. Enjoy.
Wants to try.
Yeah, dive in.
Wow, this looks yummy.
How does it taste like? See?
How is it?
So good.
Can you believe it was only made in 9 minutes?
Oh,
Dessert in 9 minutes.
I thought this was 30 minutes.
The 9 minute, the under 10-minute dessert recipes coming
This is
to you
so
from the
good.
Rider Elite team.
Yeah.
And I think Alex is gonna join you real quick just to
So
close
I'm
out.
Alex. Little market update today, and thank you, Chef, for being here. Everything that he's made today has been phenomenal. We've been eating everything behind the camera. Everyone keeps wondering, should I buy now? Interest rates? Yes, right now is a great time to buy. Interest rates are higher, but we're still just below historical average. But what we do have now is great choices and great buy downs and builder incentives. The best thing you can do is come out, reach out, feel free to reach out to me, William Ryan. We can talk to you about our incentives to help get you that rate, get you into your beautiful home. And then you're like, well, I have to sell my home. Nobody's buying. Should I sell it? Yes, homes are still selling. They're selling because we're pricing them accordingly. And we're offering the same incentives to help get you out of yours and into your new beautiful home. I hope that you guys are interested. Feel free to reach out as Chef finishes up here.
Yeah, so today, great event, learned how to make some quick, easy dishes. It's always nice to know a couple things in the back pocket to whip up real quick, real fast, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes when you look at a recipe or you see, you're like, I don't have time for this.
Yep.
As you saw, creamer that's already in your fridge, pudding pack that's maybe in your pantry.
Yep.
If not, heavy whipping cream, some cookies. And like Jennifer was saying, we could make this into any flavor you want. And we can go as crazy as you want to. So we could do like key lime filling inside of, I mean, like a cranberry cookie. For,
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
it just all the different flavors you can mix together, stay into the season, stay out of the seasons. For the Halloween theme, you can go crazy. We can dye this and turn it real bright green if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
You could put dye into our cookies and turn them black. So then the black and the green
Yep.
trick your mind thinking, what in the world is this? And all you taste is pumpkin.
Yeah.
So those flavors and just adding different colors to it are great tricks and trades of making dessert in 9 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Absolutely.
then also, we also have another upcoming cooking event. Chef is gonna be putting that on. That's on the 17th of November. We look forward to seeing you guys all there. Please feel free to reach out, register. And the first 20 attendees that register, we send you the food. You get to cook along, and Chef is always phenomenal.
Absolutely. It's a great event to sign up for. It helps you get you out of your comfort zone, helps you feel more comfortable in the kitchen, right? And being able to cook along with us is what really allows you to gain that confidence that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So send us your requests. We're always looking for ideas, things you want to try, things you're scared of trying. We'll teach you how to make it right in the comfort of your own home.
Awesome. Thanks, Chef. We appreciate you
Hey,
being out.
thank you.